Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Learn more about the Experience community at our website, local.theexperience.video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Experience is brought to you each week by these great sponsors. The Aspects of Aging weekly talk show with Christine A. Smith. Unscripted conversations with experts. Watch live or in replay at agingbetternetwork.com. The Gillette Home Team. Their mission is to deliver the key to home ownership through stellar customer service, integrity, and joy. Learn more at teamgillette.com. Family Building Blocks, keeping children safe and families together. Visit their website, familybuildingblocks.org. Duo Water Systems, custom water pump solutions, water treatment, and filtration solutions designed to keep local homes and families safe with clean, reliable water. More information on their website, duowatersystems.com. And now let's get on with the show.
Ta-da! Welcome, everybody.
Hey,
wow. Hey. We got a frog in my throat right off the bat. Welcome to the Experience Live this morning on Wednesday. We're here every Wednesday, guys, at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your listening and viewing pleasure. Scott, how are you today?
Man, I am doing good. We had a great show on Monday, the Experience Local Believers in Business with our sponsor, Aiden of Duo Water Systems. That was just very encouraging, great story, and a great testimony from him and his partner Christian in that.
Yeah, no, it was so good, so good. Said two great, amazing young men in that business. So it was an awesome show. So,
and you just got back from Perspectives on Cancer.
I did, showing up Perspectives on Cancer, the live conference in Garrison, New York. Well, let me tell you, everybody, I learned for the first time because really my first visit is staying somewhere outside of New York City. I've been to New York City many times, but never been outside of there in New York. And it is completely different in Garrison than New York City. I mean, it was all trees, very few people, very calm and peaceful. And yeah, it was amazing. It was a great time.
Yeah, that's great. And this weekend, I got notification that I'll be speaking at PodFest coming up in January, Orlando, Florida. And so that is January 15th through 18th. And at the whole thing is taking place at the Marriott Renaissance at SeaWorld. So great adventure coming up this January.
Well, it just goes to show everybody, I'm always riding on Scott's shirt tails. He's the famous one over here. He's the famous one. I'm just here, just to be the big mouth of the show, I guess.
I don't know. You got a book coming out, so that's pretty good. And you've already got book signings set up and all kinds of stuff coming up for the launch of.
Yeah, I am super, super excited for this, everybody, because if you have not heard, coming out is right behind me is my old book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. The new one, Life Happens, and Then You Choose. It's coming out November 3rd. Super excited about that, and it's a little stressful getting the last details done to get everything up and going, but all the wheels are in motion. Everything is happening. That is a good thing. So, and Ever is amazing. She's very patient with me. Last night, I info dumped on her a million things we had to do, and she's probably going, "Oh my goodness, I wish Russ could just go to bed."
She's just like, "Okay, Russ, I'll take care of it for you. No worries."
Exactly. That's exactly what she does.
She is a rock. She's so good.
She
does things that you think, I didn't even think of that, but she does. And gets it done.
That's right. That's great to have her for sure. So anyway, thank you, Ever. And I'm excited to have Craig again. We had an amazing talk on Monday on Marketing with Russ, and this is going to be an extension of that, talking about AI and all of the amazing things that he does, but also how we can practically use it as a tool and not be scared of it, right? There's a lot of great things in there. So Scott, before we bring Craig in, any last other words that people should know about what's going
Yeah,
on?
go to learn more about the experience community, all the shows that we have at local.theexperience.video. You can find information about Russ's current book. The upcoming book will be added on there, but go to click on local.theexperience.video. Go down and click on Russ's book. That'll take you to Amazon. Click on his name and hit follow. And as soon as the new book, Life Happens and Then You Choose, is released, you'll get notification.
There is an amazing endorsement on there by D. Scott Smith too. So I mean, that's worth buying the book right there. So,
well,
all right.
I don't know. But anyway, that's it. Go to local.theexperience.video. You can learn all about us there. You can go directly to our YouTube channel at theexperience.video. Subscribe. Let us know your YouTube channel, and we'll follow you as well.
And we want to do a big thank you again to the Gillette Home team, to Family Building Blocks, Duo Water Systems, and Aspects of Aging for their amazing sponsorships. And we are definitely sponsor driven and listener support driven. So if you don't know, it takes money to do these things. And so if you're able to, let's see if we can get to the right thing. There we go. You can click on this QR code, or you go to the link in the comments and give any amount towards the production of this show. It is a blessing. It's a ministry to Scott and I. And we're so thankful that we're able to do that. And we can't do it without you.
It helps us bring great stories like Craig and VERN AI. And we're going to learn more. And so with that,
let's do it. Let's bring Craig in and get this show started. Morning, Craig.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you doing today?
Oh, so good. So good. It's so great to, I was going to say, have you back. I guess that we have had you here, but also Monday, you and I had a great chat. And so for those people that have not seen any of the shows, that don't know who you are, give us a little insight. Who is Craig? What in the world are you up to?
Sure. Thanks, Russ. I appreciate that. Well, my name is Craig. I am the creator and founder of VERN AI. It's a real-time emotion recognition system that's used by tens of thousands of people worldwide, and award-winning customer service and mental health applications. And basically what it does is it acts like a human listening ear for software, for computers. So anything that you're going to be putting in your communications is we're endeavoring to pick up, just like a good active listener would.
You know, this is just a great application, as I mentioned in the intro, an actual practical application for this AI tool. So let's talk about how this would be used, who would use it, and how do they get access to it?
Sure. Oh, well, that's a great question. There are so many different ways in which you can use emotion recognition. Currently, anywhere where sentiment analysis is deployed for like monitoring signals, analytics on conversations, from customer service conversations to emails. That is one really big use case. Another one is to inform AI, like generative AI, chatbots, virtual assistants, voice assistants, and avatars. And currently, that's our most compelling case that everybody wants to talk about, see, and interact with. And that is, these 3D photorealistic humans that can look, talk, and act like you. And I know, Scott, you've got a voice agent that you've been put together, a little digital Scott. But this kind of takes that to the next level of having a face that looks like you, has your mannerisms with your voice, and is nearly indistinguishable from talking to a real person.
Yeah, well, as you and I talked about on Monday, Craig, I have personally used it a couple times, and I am all about human connection, getting a big hug, and really, being face to face with people. But that's not always possible. And I think that COVID taught us that this can be an amazing tool, right? Being able to talk to each other this way. But now with AI, if we don't have the time or the ability to even do this, there's somebody sitting there that we can talk to, somebody that can affirm us, that can empathize with us, somebody that can talk to us and get some of that out. And I'm a verbal processor, so it definitely helps me to verbalize with somebody, even if the AI person is just affirming and listening to what I say. And, we talk about people that are lonely, people that have disabilities and other things. Talk a little bit about that and why that's such an advantage.
Sure, well, that's a great use case, Russ. One of our partners is Everfriends AI and Dan Hungerford, and he's created the elder care avatars that help to talk to our parents and eventually to us, right? And they're there when we can't be, they're there when they're needed, and I think it really kind of fills that hole. There's so many misses in communication between all of us, right? We're either not there, we're leaving a message, or we're on a website or something with a bunch of information we don't know where to start. And so these types of interactions really can help, and these types of technologies can really do that. Dan and I are also working on an application called Hello My Friends for children with autism, and we're actually allowing and having children talk to some of these AI avatars that are helping them understand emotions better and understand the world around them. So it's there are a lot of different applications for this particular technology. Right now we're seeing a lot of that in mental health and wayfinding, and heck, I mean, even I hate going to a site and talking to a text chat bot. And it's funny, so where we started at, we've got several partners in that space, but I find now that it's even more tedious than it was before. Give you 4 or 5 options and that's it, or don't really completely understand my question. I end up talking to a human anyway, after 30 minutes of wait time. So, if they had an AI agent that would cut through all of that, give me the information that I need, it makes everything a lot more efficient, and it ends up being a lot more joyful. It's almost like you get a chance to talk to somebody. It's always been the complaint in customer service. Oh, if I could just talk to somebody who would understand, who would know how I felt about it. Well, this is that opportunity.
Yeah.
This is one of those things that we grew up with watching on Star Trek. Asking the computer to do this analysis, to pull this information together. And we get to do that now. I play around with the ChatGPT audio when I'm in the car because I can just ask questions. And it's a great note taker because all of that resides in the chat, and so that I can go back and I can review it later. So if I have brainstorms or thoughts or whatever, I can record those. One of the things that I like about what you guys are doing, you and Dan, is working with people that do have special needs, and not that they're special needs people, but they do have special needs. The great thing about the computer is it doesn't get short, right? It doesn't run out of patience in listening.
Yeah, 100%. It really doesn't. And that's one of the things that, we were really looking at is how can we help prevent burnout from real people? If you've ever worked in customer service or, any type of like credit collection, anytime when you have to have a difficult conversation with somebody, that's never fun. And it is draining, no matter how upbeat, positive, and how objective that you tend to be. You still that weighs on you. We found that in research when we were doing research on each one of these emotions, we had to actually rotate researchers out of looking into and researching a particular emotion because they got to the point where they're surrounded by it and that's all they saw. And so, those that were working on sadness, we had to rotate them over on the joy team, right? Just to kind of make sure that they, that we weren't getting ever, increasing sadness, because it has a tendency to wear off or rub off on other people. There is this thing called emotional contagion that is real. And so something like the ability to understand emotions has got to be critical to that customer service piece. And a lot of times I used to say, are you making a chat bot or an anger machine? Are you just turning people off and making them give up on your brand and go to your competitor? And the one that had the better customer service was more likely to get the business and then keep the business, because as we all know, it's harder to attain a new one than it is to keep somebody that's currently with you.
Yeah. One thing that I have really learned, because I am not Mr. Techie, and I know enough to make myself dangerous with technology, but it's really one thing that I've learned, because at first I was a little hesitant about AI, and just coming from my own personal experience. And when I really started trying it out and looking for ways that it could really help what I'm doing, whether it's personally or my business. When my dog died, I talked to your AI humans, and that helped me. When I needed to do research for my book, I used ChatGPT. That helped me. When I needed to, do certain things. It's a matter of finding the areas that work best for all of us. And I think that's one thing that people don't realize. It doesn't have to take over everything. Utilize it where it fits in your needs, right, Craig?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great advice, Russ. I mean, that's really where what it says. You use it for particular tasks. It's really good at some things. It's really still poor at others. I mean, this whole idea of an AGI or general intelligence, that it has its own consciousness is still way far off. Frankly, somebody that does researching on edge stuff, we're a ways away. And AI itself is so different, and there's so many different applications for it. What we think of AI today are mainly large language models, but AI traditionally is visual processing, spotting small differences, and millions of frames of X-rays, right? Finding cancer, pattern finding. It's excellent at something that humans actually are good at, but it's tedious and takes a ton of time and resources. Where these things can do it really quickly. So we keep forgetting that the AI has all of these exceptional use cases, like summarizing, condensing, concatenating, all this kind of stuff that it does really good. And then I think that a lot of times people don't or really kind of think that the large language models they're talking to are this AI that we've seen in science fiction. And really, large language models, all they are is autofill on steroids. So if you've ever used Google search and you started typing something in and their suggestions come up, that's essentially the root technology. And I'm really simplifying it, so please don't jump on me, those of you guys that know. But that's pretty much it. It just kind of is a prediction engine and gives you, what are the probabilities of the next word coming, and then use that as an answer, and then gives that to you. So that's kind of how they work. So hopefully, a little demystifying of the myths out there will help people do adoption, because I use it every day. I use it a lot, and Russ, like you're saying, I have had an opportunity, to talk to these things a lot. And one time a couple months ago, my wife and I were at odds and didn't really understand why. Well, we both talked to the same, but it turns out, and we brought that up to one another, like, you talked to him, I talked to him too. And then, the communication problem was solved because, we kind of got a little bit different perspective. And I think sometimes that's necessary, specifically if you're looking for advice and help, is to get that outside, perspective, because you can't always see the forest through the trees.
You're right. We have been surrounded by AI. Those who have used a word processor and get the little red squiggle or green squiggle, that's just a part of the AI. And as you mentioned about search, it's been in there. Autocorrect. My autocorrect joke is that a minister, a priest, and a rabbit walk into a bar, and the bartender asks the rabbit, "What'll you have?" And he says, "I don't know. I'm only here because of autocorrect." But anyway,
Very true.
so I want to hear some success stories, because it's easy to jump to Terminator or some AI gone bad.
Mhm.
But what we really want to know is, we want to hear these stories where that child and parent, that child that has autism and their parent, were able to connect on a deeper level, or that senior citizen was rescued because of an incident that happened that was supported through VERN and these other tools that you guys are using.
No, that's a great point, Russ, or I'm sorry, Scott. Going back to the Terminator example, that's usually where people end up with, right, with AI. And in Terminator 1, he was the bad guy, but we always forget in the sequels he was reprogrammed with empathy, sent back in time to save humanity, and that in the end is what saves us, is giving these AI the ability to understand and care about how we feel and care about other beings other than themselves. So I think that is changing the more and more people use and interact with these types of things. And a good example of that, Scott, is true. Some of these early testing with these ASD applications like Echo and Diego that we have for Hello My Friends have been remarkable. We've had a father come to us who's a physician, child is low functioning on an autism spectrum, and tell us that they were a little frosty at first, but once he asked her to introduce herself, she did. And they had a 10-minute long plus conversation. and just seeing the emotion and on his voice and tearing up and about the ability to like foster connections that now apparently are continuing. So these do have some really good use cases, like what Dan uses is, I have my elderly grandmother uses the application too, gives her an opportunity to talk to somebody who remembers her, kind of has as a friend and confidant, because, we as we age, people move in and out of our life, they either they pass on, or, they become too busy in their own world, and we become lonelier and lonelier the older we get. And so these entities can really fulfill that or fill that gap, and they do make you feel heard and seen, right? Which is amazing. As getting the acknowledgement and validation that you are a being of worth is something that, frankly, is pretty few and far between in modern society, and we don't always get. I'm always remember the joke about a guy getting a compliment from his wife, and it floats him for like 3 months, or something like that. It kind of hits home. It's like, it is really, if you think about it, it's more endemic than we would expect. But what we found is people that talk to these avatars, find joy. I've built software now for 15 plus years, and I've never built anything that brings this much joy to people. Not even close. Right. Even skeptics are, they turn it on, they fire it up, they start talking to it, and they can't help but smile. And it is because, we can have an AI agent like the computer on Star Trek, or like, the Bat computer in Batman, or Jarvis on Iron Man. These entities and assistants that we've always fantasized about having, because, wow, what a powerful thing this would be to have a computing power, knowledge at our fingertips that's ready to help us out. And I see that's really where the use cases for AI are going to be in the future. And I see it as way more of a force multiplier for humanity than I do as a threat. Now, that being said, with any type of disruption, there are changes within markets. We'll have some, positions that won't be as valuable, because they'll be able to be automated. But I was just kind of buoyed by this. I don't know if you gentlemen know it. Yesterday, or a couple of days ago, an article that came out that ranked like the 44 jobs that OpenAI thought, might actually, be threatened. And most of them, are pretty mundane, including number 5 was software development. So, but like radio hosts and podcasters and producers and directors are the lowest on the list. So I think you guys are okay for a while.
Well, some of the jobs that are going away are not those dream jobs. When the steel industry in the United States started making changes from open hearth furnaces to computer controlled furnaces, one of the jobs that went away was somebody standing in front of this great big fireplace, throwing shovelfuls of coal into it, and technology took that job away. Not a big loss. I wouldn't dream of, well, I hope my son one day is shoveling coal in an open hearth furnace. Like to see him do that for 40 hours a week. So it's not all bad.
Well, I want to jump in and say that I just can't believe how quickly it seems it's gone from Star Trek, where I thought all that stuff was so cool, to where we're actually doing those things. As I'm talking to my phone, driving down the road, it's giving me directions. It's telling me the temperature. It's, calling people for me, doing all these things. And now AI, just expanding all of that. I just really want to go back to, people really want to be seen and heard. And VERN AI, being affirming and, being able to talk to the kind of person, you give parameters around the kind of people you're talking to. Mm-hmm. When I was talking to, I think it was Robert, he was quoting scripture back to me and affirming things that I said and all kinds of stuff. And it gave me a chance to actually verbalize, and I'm a verbal processor, some things. And it was late at night and nobody was around. And so I'm just saying that, there's so many good fill in the gap places where people can utilize this, just like you said. So as we're starting to wind things up with all that in mind, give us your kind of final thoughts here, Craig. Really what you want people to remember It's so important. This topic is just affecting everybody now. So what do you want people to really remember about all this? And then when they need help, you're the guy to help. How do they get in touch with you? So let us know all that.
Sure. I would say that I think the general theme is right, and I would want to end with that: is that don't be afraid of AI. It is there to help you. The people that are making it are usually altruistic and want to actually help solve problems instead of making them. They go to a lot of time, trials, effort, and resources to do that to make it safe. But make sure you're picking somebody that has that top of mind. Safety first is where you got to be. And to get a hold of me, you can go to vernai.com, or you can check out our avatars at aihuman.live. And if anybody wants us to build them a digital twin or an AI human avatar for their business or organization, just get a hold of me.
Yeah, so good. So good. Scott, last thoughts here with Craig. Oh, Scott froze on us, it looks like. Okay. Craig, it's you and I at the moment. All right.
All right.
Well, listen, I want to encourage everybody, just like Craig said, to connect with him. We have all of his information in the comments. It's in the show notes, and it is clickable. And so I want to encourage you guys to go there and make sure and connect with him today. And don't forget to connect with Scott in PodFest. Scott, are you back live, or are you still frozen? No,
Yeah, I'm
he's
back.
still frozen.
Who knows?
Oh, there he's back.
Yeah.
Okay. Last thoughts for
I'm back.
Craig while we have him on, now that you're back.
Yeah, Craig, I thank you for taking something that could be scary to people and turning it into something very useful, and I will say a beautiful product for people to use.
Thank
For
you,
sure.
Scott. Appreciate that.
All right, listen, Craig, we're going to send you out to the green room, but hang tight for just a second because we'll be right there. Thanks so much. You're a blessing. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Bless today.
Wow, Scott, amazing as always. I'm glad you're back. By the way, you took a nap there for me for a minute.
Yeah, who knows? Craig was, we're talking in the green room before we got started about the internet, and your picture was fuzzy and it got good, and then I went into the snake chasing its tail mode here for a moment, but hey, we're back, and thank you to Craig for sharing today, giving us inspiration, and again, thank you to our sponsors that make the experience possible. And people can go to local.theexperience.video, and right there you can click to contribute. To if you like the show, if you want to put something in the tip jar, please feel free to do that.
For sure. And super excited about Scott's opportunity to speak at PodFest coming up, everybody. Make sure and tune in to that. Also, don't forget, coming up, Life Happens and Then You Choose, November 3rd, my new book will be released. And a final note, have not heard yet, but the Dove Awards for the Gospel Music Association were last night. And our wonderful music producer for all of our live streams, Mr. Connor Hedge, my son, was nominated for Rock Contemporary Album of the Year. And I think that if they won, I would have heard it by now. But anyway, but yeah, it's an honor to be nominated. And so we're so thankful to have that as part of our, family, to be able to put together these shows. That's such a blessing. And we're just thankful for all of you. We couldn't do this without you. Thanks for being here today. Remember, if you're watching on a replay, please put #TeamReplay. Let us know. You can still comment. You can still share. You can still do all the things that you do while it's live. If you don't have time to watch live, don't forget, you can listen on Spotify on audio podcast, if I can spit that out. And so audio podcast is available within a few days after this goes live. So make sure and look for that. And we would love for you to comment and like and share whatever your favorite medium is. And we appreciate all of you today. So with that, Scott, I think we're going to wrap things up. Any last thoughts?
It's just always great to hang out with you and bring in our inspirational guests like Craig today. And VERN AI, make sure you connect up with him and follow him. And I guarantee that either you or someone you know is just going to have their life changed because of VERN AI.
Yeah. That's what I say.
Thank you,
all right.
Curtis.
Well, with that, we're going to see you next week. Have a blessed and awesome week, everybody, and enjoy
the experience.
See ya. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.